whizzing by trees, power being thrown in your face, feeling dangerous, feeling as fast as you could ever feel. This is what I get when I snowboard. It's my favorite sport to do, and I want to try and get all of you to do it if you haven't already. How many of you have snowboarded before? Most of the guys. So, do you guys get kind of the same feeling?
No.
Not at all? That's great. I've been snowboarding for 6 years now. It is my favorite sport, and although I was the first in my family to do it, now I'm not the only one. Since I got my first board, my whole family, including my sisters, have theirs now, and it's kind of a family thing. I think it's a great bonding experience, but it's extremely expensive. So if you do try it and get your own stuff, I want you to know that, like, this board was $600, my boots were $200. Shin guards, not that big of a deal. They're optional for me. I just don't like to break my wrist. I'm going to teach you how to do it, how to be safe, and some good places to do it. To start, the boots and the board. They are expensive, but they are extremely important, so you want to make sure you get the right kind. The board should be as tall as your chin when it's upright. The boots should be about a half size shorter than your regular size, so they're snug. And it's important to start slow if you do start snowboarding. You always want to go down horizontal like this down the hill to start, because otherwise people immediately hurt themselves. I don't think I've ever seen someone not hurt themselves while going down sideways on their first try. You want to slowly turn and do it more as you get comfortable with the snowboard until you're able to turn between angles and, like, go down the hill backwards and do this. When you get extremely comfortable with it, you can start to shred and do a whole bunch of stunts and tricks. I'm sure Sam does.
Yeah.
But that's when you get advanced. I don't think I am yet, but I'm hoping to get there. You also want to be safe. That's extremely important when you do this. I think winter sports have one of the highest rates of injury other than things like football. I think that's because just the atmosphere of it is dangerous. Going down giant hills, having all this equipment that boards can, like, slice you, the ice can as well. So it's important to have a whole bunch of safety equipment, make sure your equipment fits right. You always want to have a helmet. I think that concussions are a horrible thing. I actually have a story. Once I went off of a ramp and I thought I would be okay with my helmet, and I got a concussion because the wind blew me down and my head still smacked against the snow. I got a concussion, but if I didn't have my helmet, it would have been a lot worse. I have been saved from concussions by my helmet in other times in the exact same scenario. But I think it's an extremely important thing to do. It's not required in most resorts, but it is preferred. There's a quote by my mother, who now snowboards. She says, "Nothing is fun when you have a broken bone." I very much agree with this. I've never broken a bone myself, so I don't know, but she has shattered her wrist twice from snowboarding, and she still goes and does it because she thinks it's extremely fun. So for those of you who don't want to try it, I encourage you to. Even when you get hurt, it's still extremely fun. Like I said, you want to make sure your equipment fits, and you want to make sure that your board, when you are going downhill, is never, ever flat. Because when it gets flat, when you go by either a snow pile, an ice ridge, something like that, it will immediately catch the board and you will fly off the ground. It's not fun. It happens pretty much to everybody who does snowboard, which is why we have the equipment to keep us safe. In the year 2009, a ski resort in Vail said that they started making people require helmets, and then the concussion rate went down by 57%. I think this goes to show just how important being safe is and what your equipment fits and everything. Like I said, with my wrist guards, these are optional, but for me, they are preferred because I don't want to have the same scenario happen with me that did happen with my mother. And I'm going to get into good places to snowboard now. Have any of you been to Sleepy Hollow? Have any of you been to Seven Oaks? Which one do you prefer? In my opinion, Seven Oaks is much better. The hills are better, the snow is better. If you want to go somewhere a little bit better but still not too far away, where my last story was, Galena, I think that's a very, very good place. It's beautiful. But best places in the country, I think that the two best places that I've been to are in Wyoming and in Utah. Jackson Hole in Wyoming, they're actually known for their ski lifts. They're said to have the best ski lifts in the country. I just thought that was kind of an interesting fact. But the hills are amazing. It's kind of nerve-wracking when you get on actual mountains. When you go here, it's the snow is all pre-made. You're used to everything. There's flat hills. When you go to some place like that, it's not the same at all. There's snow made from nature, and it's a lot different snow than you're used to. And then the second place, Alta and Snowbird in Utah. I've only been there once, and it was for the second year that I was snowboarding, so I wasn't very good. And I think I switched from snowboard to skis about halfway through the trip because it was extremely hard, and I wasn't prepared to do something like that yet. So going back to the point, always stick to hills that are at your skill level. Otherwise, you could either hurt yourself or hurt others around you who are also snowboarding. I want to reiterate what I said. I think that snowboarding is extremely fun, and if you haven't done it before, you should. For those of you who have snowboarded, you should continue, but always be safe when you're doing it. Good places, go to those places if you want to have a fun time. Otherwise, I don't think you would have as much fun. And always snowboard.